Hey, good morning YouTube. Yakfish Taco here. How you guys doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a car to review for you guys. This is straight from the dealership. Now I'm not a professional reviewer. I got this vehicle because my 2017 Forester is in a shop for a recall. Some sort of AC condenser thing. If I'm getting a new condenser and a loaner car to use and review for you guys, all the better, right? So this is a top of the line Outback Limited Edition 2020, and it has some miles on it. So, but I'm sure at some point a car like this is gonna end up on the secondary, like a used car market, to be sold as some sort of late model, like new, almost new, drives like new, or even a certified pre-owned, something like that. So for people that are on the market for a late model Subaru Outback, maybe I can help out and take a look at this car for you. So yeah, let's go. So let's do a quick walk around to see anything kind of imperfection, right? We want to have a like new condition. So let's see. Oh, I see a little dent right here. There's the deduction on points. Other than that, this side is pretty clean. Look at the back bumper. It's a little dirty because I drove it back in the rain last night, so but it came off the lot pretty clean. So yeah, a little paint chip right there. Overall it's pretty clean. Oh, shout out to Subaru Portland loaner car. Yeah, walk around it, no problem, looks good. They even clean the tires. Let's see the tires. These are the 18-inch tires, and I do find the front tire is a little bit low on the tread, so they probably did not, rotate the vehicle's tires on a regular basis. Let's look at the inside. Oh, look at that, huh? Look at that, huh? Clean, all-season floor mat. No, just kidding. It's a service mat, we see a lot in the service department. That's come with the coffee mugs, free ones too. It's a free coffee from the service department also. So so look at this. Okay, full wood trim, nicely padded, and we got all these presets driver's position, so you can tell with that's like a limited edition. And sunroof, perforated leather, very nice. Heated seat, back seat. This kind of back seat is like super roomy. Look at this. This is my driving position. I'm short right now. I'm 5'6", and get in here. Oh man, I can stretch. Anybody sit behind me, it's gonna have crazy amount of leg rooms. Let's get a little wider view. And that on that side, I mean, like, it's the car seat on the driver's side, the passenger side is pretty well far back. Still, you could look at that, like that crazy amount of room. Now, being a premium trim, the back seats gets 2 ports and even got their own heated seats. That's pretty cool. So front seats heated, back seats also heated. Inspecting the back seats, find a little cut right here. Oh, what's that? Oh, they better get that patched up before they put it on the market. Power liftgate, of course. Who wants to lift their own tailgates anymore nowadays, right? Especially people that are buying premiums. So huge trunk. Look at this trunk. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's got this latch thing to release the seats. Oh yeah, pretty cool. And on 2 sides. Now, one thing is that when a car is used, you don't get that kind of new car smells, and you don't get kind of new feel in the seats. Let's see how worn out the seats are, after this whole year or two of being driven by people of different sizes, different weights, right? You got if it's a loaner car, it's gonna have like a lot of different type of body types sitting in here. Let's see. Yeah, the seats in pretty good condition, I can tell. And now I do find a little weird scratches right there. It's almost like somebody was kind of clinging onto the A pillar, you know, with long fingernails. Interesting. Maybe they're gonna get that fixed or looked at. The sunroof is not panoramic, so that's one thing. I know that in the past Outback has panoramic sunroof, but not sure why nowadays it does not. Maybe they want to give a little more headrooms to the passenger in the back. Okay, everything's gonna get lit up. You know, one thing's really annoying that the XM radio turns on automatically. I don't know why, but maybe there's a way to turn that off. So you got all your climate control, all these buttons here, and the screen is pretty wide, pretty big, I would say. I'm not sure exact size. So how do you tell if this is a big enough screen? Is that if you can look from one corner of the screen to the other corner without turning your head. So let's try that. Oh, I turned my head. So the screen is big enough. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I think the screen is big enough of enough in size. I know like nowadays you can get, even for the 2021 Outback, you have a huge screen. It's not as big as the Teslas, of course. Tesla has like a widescreen, like IMAX almost, infotainment display. But for most people, I don't think you need a super big screen to feel that you are well equipped. That's just me. So this is how the backup sensor works. Let's see if it still works. Warn me. Okay, I guess that is close enough. So let's look at the instrument cluster and kind of look at the little history of this vehicle. So it has 18,000 miles on it. So I'm gonna put a few hundred more, right? So for the weekend. And let's see what other information. MPG, oh, that's 360 miles, only 22.1. That's kind of low. I think I'll take it on the freeway and give a little higher mileage reading. Maybe just a different type of driving style. Maybe the last person that drove it was doing a lot of launch controls and 0 to 60 kind of thing. Yeah, it shouldn't be that low, because my 2017 Forester, I got 27 combined every day, and then I got like a 30 something on the highway. So this is too low. You got all your buttons right here, voice control, car phones and cruise control on this side, all this adapted cruise control, lane keep assist, eyesight, of course. Now as for the new car feel, I don't think this thing feels new, right? I mean, hey, it's been 2 years now, but the thing is that it says here, no smoking, but I felt like there's definitely probably not smoking going on inside the car, but people that smoke definitely has sat in the car, or even like weed because it does smell like cigarette or some sort of vapes and things like that. So I'm sure they need to clean this up before they put it on the used car market. You see, I knew it. I just knew the air pressure was low. Look at that, it's like really low. No wonder that gas mileage sucks. That 22.1, yeah, that shouldn't be like that. This car should have a better gas mileage. So let's look at while we talk about the engine, let's look under the hood. Let's go. Everything seems to be in order. A little dusty. Oh man, leaves. Jesus. Everything else seems to be fine. You know how like the new cars, the engine smell like new plastic? I don't smell any new plastic, but I smell like just like warm air. But you know, older cars, they smell like oil. I don't smell like any oil at all. So it's still a new car, but you just don't get that new car engine smell. Okay, the air is low, so I need to air it up. I always do a pre-check, you know, before I go on a road trip. That's all responsible motorists do. I always check the engine oil before I go on a trip. Let's see. One more dip. You know what? The engine oil, the level is right on high. So perfect. But the oil seems a little dirty. Probably has maybe a 2,000 miles on it. Probably after this, they need to change the oil maybe in 1,000 miles or so. But the overall, it's not like pitch dark. So that's good. Okay, so with the tires properly inflated and with the engine oil all checked out, so we're ready to go on the road. Okay, so with the sun's out, coffee's in hand, let's hit the road. Oh, by the way, I have to have a correction to make. This is a 2019 Outback, not 2020. Sorry about that, got it all mixed up. So, but regardless, let's hit the road. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it's pretty smooth. Drives like a new car. Yeah, so far so good. Oh, see, like there's a warning sign. There's they didn't top up the fluid. The windshield washer. It's got the warning sign there. Always something. Right off the line. Yeah, the CVT doesn't feel as like noisy like the older ones. I'm not sure is this the new same unit or the newer unit. So if anybody knows, please drop a comment below. Yeah, just off the line, a little bit loud, but then the noise sort of kind of goes away when the engine catch up to the CVT.
After 300 feet, turn right, I-205 north towards Seattle. Turn right.
All right, get on the freeway. Let's see how this thing goes. So far so good, it's pretty smooth. So we're setting a speed at 60 miles for now, before we get out of town. And we're on cruise control, adaptive cruise control. At 60 miles, it's banking at about 1650 RPM, just a little below 1700 RPM at 60 miles. Okay, you can see that the cruising speed of 65 miles for the last 10 miles on the freeway, about 12 miles, has brought the MPG up to about 31.4 already. So yeah, this car is definitely capable of, you know, good gas mileage. It's just that your speed has to be, you know, at a certain range. So driving on the interstate, right, you're not expected to drive 65 all the way. You know, 70 or 75 is usually mostly is the norm. So so I'm gonna raise it up to about 70, and we'll drive a while and see if it'll come back down, you know, to around 30 or something like that. So yeah. And we are on this trip to Seattle right now from Vancouver, Washington. It's gonna be about 340 miles round trip. So we'll definitely get you the gas mileage numbers. But so far so good. 65 miles, you can get up to almost like 31 or 32 mpg on average. It's a little bit quieter than the Forester, but definitely still, the interior noise definitely still kind of loud. Well, at 70 miles, the engine is riding right at 2000 RPM, and right now we're actually up to 33.5 mpg. So the MPG, average MPGs keep climbing. So I would expect if I would stay at 65 miles, it probably could go up to like 35 by now. So yeah, I'm gonna stay at 70 miles most of the way and see what the realistic MPG is, because that is kind of like the speed that most people would be driving on the freeway. 65 is just too slow. So it seems like the average MPG has maxed out at 33.5 miles per gallon at 70. So it's been like that for the last 10 minutes now. So yeah, so that seems to be the maximum MPG for 70 miles per hour. Alright, we're in Seattle. So for the whole trip, 162 miles, we got 34.6 miles per gallon. That is pretty good. We've been driving mostly 70 miles per hour, some places 60s, going through some cities, and 65 after Tacoma. That was the speed limit. And also the traffic, there are a few spots where we had extensive traffic delays for about 10 minutes of back-to-back bumper-to-bumper traffic. Okay, so we got to Seattle. Yeah, the trip was nice. It's a good road trip. 3 hours, a little bit less than that. We had to stop for the dog to go to the bathroom and things like that, for coffee. We were driving around 70 most of the time. There were several spots that has traffic jams. So that slowed us down, and some places we had to slow down to 60. So mostly it was 70 miles and some 65 miles, and the car definitely handles well in all those different traffics. Definitely a really good road trip car for the family. And so tomorrow we're gonna go into the mountain to do some mushroom hunting. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, windy roads, you know, going up the mountain passes, coming down long uphill, long downhills, and I'll be using the paddle shifter a little bit. I haven't tried the paddle shifter on this vehicle yet. You know, it has a CVT, of course. It has all those fake gears. So we're gonna try the paddle shifter and see how the manual mode works. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. So we're on Highway 26 heading into the mountain towards Mount Hood. Doing a little bit of mushroom hunting. Hopefully we can find something.
Finally, look.
Oh, yep, it's a real morale. It's pretty. Oh yeah, beautiful. Yes, I know.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay, so we just got done with some mushroom hunting for morale, and we find some morale. So make sure you guys check out that video. I'm gonna put the link down below. This kind of vehicle, low center of gravity, and 4-wheel drive, it just, you know, feels right at home in the mountain, in the roads like this, you know, kind of windy road, ups and down hills, and the CVT does a pretty good job, you know, providing that kind of power for you easier to kind of power through curves and the turns and going up hills. And then also the paddle shifter, you have the options of using the paddle shifter to control your descent. So right now we're going uphill, 63 miles. If I'm holding at 63 miles, right now I'm at about 2400 RPM. So the engine's got enough power that it's not have to kind of go really high in RPM to give you kind of power. So we keep climbing. So now I'm almost at 70. I'm not even like trying hard, or I'm not even having the gas pedal all the way down. It's just like it's barely, I'm barely halfway, not even halfway. So now I'm on top of the hill. The thing about the cruise control is that it beeps a lot. It's like really annoying. Every time the car gets in front of you or get within the range of detection, it just beeps. So imagine in the city or in some sort of busy highway, it was beeping quite a bit. So I'm not sure, because I don't own this car, I'm not sure how to turn that beeping sound off, or if even that's an option. So that's kind of one thing I have to keep in mind. Maybe if I read the owner's manual, I'll figure out how to do that. But it does beep a lot. So now we just passed the summit government camp at Mount Hood. So we're gonna start a 5 miles long descent, a pretty steep descent down the mountain. So if you set the car on cruise control at a certain speed, the transmission will control that speed by downshifting automatically, giving you that. The problem is that the transmission or the cruise control is not going to see the curves. It's not going to see how sharp the turn is going to be coming up. So at that time, you either have the options of braking, or which will cancel the cruise control, or you can have the option of put the car on manual mode and manually adjusting the fake gears that you want to be on to have that kind of engine braking control that you want. So see like how the sharp turns coming up, and I'm at 60, and the speed says 45 is the safe passing one. I mean, I'm sure the Subaru Outback can take that turn, right? But I don't want to risk it. Maybe I'm just gonna go like maybe 10 above. Right now I went from the top gear, 7th gear, to now to 5th gear. Now it's holding still at about 55 miles, coming up this kind of sharp descending turns, kind of give me that kind of control. And I'm already off the gas, and I'm just kind of letting the gravity do the job. And say like right now, when it's straight ahead, and I can kind of go back to sixth gear, and then so that's a new one. That's the 2021 model. Just passed me. He just doesn't like me doing engine braking. So I'm on 6th gear now. It's a fake 6th gear. It's one from the top gear 7. It's still doing a pretty good job holding it at 60 miles. But now I'm coming up a sharp turn, so I'm gonna go down to 5th, and then I'm gonna let the car sort of do its job. So now the engine speed is going up to about 3,100 RPM, and it's holding still, even though this is a really steep downhill. If I don't have it on 5th gear, right now it could be shooting down to about 70 miles now, and then that could be a little dicey. Even though I think the car can do it because they has traction control and all that stuff, but because you are not actively on the gas, just coasting. So when you're doing coasting, it's good to have a certain level of engine speed to do, to have the car controlled and not taking it too fast over the turn. See, this one is 45, and then so right now I'm at 5th gear, 60 miles, and see it will take it. Yeah, it's no problem. But I definitely don't want to take this curve at 70 miles. And now it's just slowing down to 55. So the manual mode with the paddle shifting will give you that kind of control on an automatic transmission, similar to a sort of traditional transmission like a 6-speed or 8-speed that you can do this kind of downshifting. But the thing is that the CVT, the difference is that CVT actually does it a lot more smoother than a traditional automatic transmission. We just finished the entire downhill. Right now we're just gonna do a straight, and then I'm gonna go back to 7, and then I'm just gonna put it back on the D, the automatic drive mode. Just let the engine figure out everything else. And so I always leave the car on just the regular normal drive when I'm going uphill to let the transmission determine what gear it wants to be. It figure it out by itself. But on downhill, I sometimes prefer to have a little bit more control with the paddle shifter. You don't have to, but it's good to have it as an option. Now, there is a caveat that it's not gonna let you downshift to like first, because it will kill the engine, and the engine has this self-awareness because of AI, right? So they don't want to get killed by you, so they will not let you get to a low gear that will actually have a too high of a revving, and also too high of a engine speed. Same thing if you're driving at 25 miles in a residential area and you try to upshift to like a higher gear. Actually, it's not going to do that, so it's not going to let you do things that are stupid and things that will endanger the driving and the dynamic, and also that will damage the engine. So you don't have to worry about damaging the engine by using the paddle shifter in the wrong way. The vehicle definitely handles really well in the mountain, and it has actually a little better ride quality than my 2017 Subaru Forester. It's a little more civilized. It feels like it's more stable. It feels a little heavier, but without like feeling sluggish. It's kind of like had that well-planted feel. Okay, so we made it a trip back home. So let's talk about this car. Okay, so we just returned the vehicle back to the dealer, put in over 500 miles on it over the weekend. Had a lot of fun, went to a lot of places, got a pretty good feel of it on the highway and cities and in the mountain. It's definitely a very nice vehicle to drive, good all around everyday and road trip driver. Lots of space for passengers and cargos, and power is good, handles well, good enough power for pretty much all your everyday driving. Handles better than my 17 Forester because the longer wheelbase and a lower body. And then so it definitely a car that I would recommend, but also with a caveat that really depending on how lucky you are, if the previous owner has been taking care of the vehicle, or it has not been overly abused by different renters or loaner car drivers, because CVT is just not a transmission that will handle abuse well, especially hard accelerations off the line. If it's been going on for too long, it will prematurely end the serviceable life of the unit. So that's one thing about CVT. But CVT also give you great gas mileage, very smooth power. It will not let the engine go out of the power band, so it's great for driving in the mountains. So that's the benefit of it. So it's not for everybody, but also deserve a good consideration. On the 19 Outback, that's the last year that it has the port injection engine. After that is they turn to direct injection, but I always kind of prefer the port injection engine because of the benefit of having a gasoline sprayed over the intake valve to clean any kind of carbon buildup, where the direct injection will not have the benefits. And so it probably will need to look at into like intake valve cleaning for like every 60,000 miles or something like that. But other than that, also direct injection give you a little bit more power, better gas mileage, but it also has higher compression than the port injection. It's kind of like 12-1 compared to like a 10-1 on the port injection. I always like something that lower pressure that will make the engine last longer. But if you only keep the car for like say 5 to 6 years and then you get a new car, then it's really not a problem. So yeah, so really depending on your situation, on your preferences, will it give you that new car feel? It does drive like a new car, you know, but it does not feel like a new car, like, you know, with all that smell. And definitely it's just kind of like a fresh cookie, but not a freshly out of the oven cookie. Hope that that makes sense. So yeah, it was great to have you guys follow along, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later, and take care and enjoy life. Bye.